Welcome students. I, Dr. Maria A. D'Souza, will present to you the module number 29, Life Cycle of Sargassum under Unit 2, Algae. The outline of the module will be reproduction in Sargassum, vegetative and sexual, fertilization followed by the life cycle of Sargassum. After completion of this module, the student will be able to describe methods of reproduction in Sargassum, explain terms receptacle, conceptacle, fertilization, diplontic life cycle, and finally illustrate the life cycle of Sargassum. This is the habit of Sargassum. It's a brown algae belonging to division Phaeophyta. To begin with the life cycle, we will study reproduction in Sargassum. Reproduction is both vegetative and sexual. Asexual reproduction is absent in Sargassum. Vegetative reproduction is by means of fragmentation. The species of Sargassum multiply profusely by means of fragmentation. But there are two species, Sargassum hystrix, Sargassum natans. They exclusively multiply by means of fragmentation. Because they are sterile, they do not produce any reproductive structures, and fragmentation is the only means of multiplication in these two species. Sexual reproduction is oogamous type. Oogamous type of reproduction is a reproduction which involves the union of mobile male gamete, that is the anthrozoid, with the immobile female gamete, the egg, which are born on sex organs called as antheridia and oogonia respectively. This is the thallus of Sargassum, showing you the lateral, air bladder and branched structures. They are the reproductive structures called the receptacle. The receptacle are the reproductive branch laterals which are found in the upper region of the axillary branch system. The receptacles will bear the conceptacles on them, and we will have male conceptacle and female conceptacle. Now, when the species of Sargassum is homothallic, that is monoecious, both male conceptacle and female conceptacle will be born in the same receptacle. But never it will be that the male conceptacle and the female conceptacle will be both born on the same conceptacle. The male conceptacle will form the antheridia. The antheridia will form 32 to 64 anthrozoids. The female conceptacle will form the oogonia, and oogonia will have one egg or the oosphere. Now, in heterothallic species of Sargassum, we will have male conceptacle and female conceptacle occurring on different plant species. But most of the species in Sargassum are homothallic. So, you will have the male conceptacle and female conceptacle occurring on the same receptacle. The vertical section of the male conceptacle is a flask-shaped structure, and it opens to the exterior by means of an ostiole. It is lined by wall layers which are compactly arranged, and these wall layers are rich in chromatophores. On the inner lining of the wall, you will have branched hair-like sterile structures called as paraphysis. Intermingled with that, we will have the antheridium, which are also branched, but they are fertile, and they are the ones which are giving rise to the male sex organs, which is the anthrozoid. If you see a branched antheridium, an antheridium is an oval structure which has two wall layers. Exocyte is the outer wall and endocyte is the inner wall. Now, the diploid cell of the anthrozoid undergo reduction division and followed by mitotic division, resulting in the formation of many, around 32 to 64 anthrozoids. Single anthrozoid is a pear-shaped structure which is having two flagella, which is heterocontic. That means the upper flagella is acronemmatic and the lower flagella is pantonemmatic. The vertical section of the female conceptacle is also a flask-shaped structure having wall layers, compactly arranged cells. Opens to the exterior by means of an ostiole. The oogonium initial stages is born directly on the wall of the conceptacle, but in the later stages, the oogonium is three-walled structure. Outer exocyte, middle mesocyte and inner endocyte. The exocyte ruptures, the mesocyte extends itself as a mucilaginous stalk, and the endocyte surrounds the diploid nucleus and protoplasm. Now, once the anthrozooids are left free from the antheridium, they swim and come across the female conceptacle, and they come to the oogonium, which is attached to the mucilaginous stalk to the wall of the female conceptacle. Once they swim and come to the oogonium, they will surround the oogonium, and all of them attach to the oogonium by means of an anterior flagella, and the posterior flagella is used for swimming. Out of all the anthrozooids, only one anthrozooid will fuse with the oogonian cell. Once it fuses, fusion takes place, both the nuclei lie side by side for some time. Later on, they fuse together and form the zygote. Once the zygote is formed, the zygote starts germinating. Zygote germinates when the oogonium is still attached to the oogonium with the help of a mucilaginous stalk. Now, once the wall of the oogonium dissolves and the zygote is liberated. The zygote, once liberated, comes in contact with the substratum, divides into two cells, the upper cell and lower cell. Lower cell gives rise to rhizoids, the upper cell gives rise to the undergoes periclinal and anticlinal divisions, and it forms the diploid sporophytic Sargassum plant. Now, if you see the life cycle pattern of Sargassum, it is called as it is diplontic life cycle. The plant body in Sargassum is diploid. It gives rise to the sex organs, antheridium and oogonium, which are also diploid. Now, reduction division takes place and it gives rise to the gametes, which are anthrozooids, and egg, which are haploid. Now, once the fusion takes place or fertilization takes place, the zygote is formed. Once the zygote is formed, it undergoes division and it forms the sporophytic plant, which is again diploid. Now, if you see the life cycle pattern in Sargassum, in the entire life cycle, the stage where Sargassum produces the gametes, anthrozooids and egg is the only haploid stage. Remaining all are diploid stages. Hence, it is called as a diplontic life cycle. To illustrate the life cycle, we have Sargassum reproduces by two means, vegetative and sexual. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation, and sexual reproduction is by producing conceptacles, that is male and female, on the receptacles. The female conceptacle will give rise to the oogonium, the male conceptacle will give rise to the antheridium. Till here it is 2N diploid stage. The oogonium and the antheridium undergoes meiosis and it gives rise to oosphere and anthrozooids. The fusion of oosphere and anthrozooids results, or the fertilization results in the formation of a zygote, which restores back the 2N conditions, that is the diploid condition. The zygote germinates and give back rise to again the Sargassum plant, which is diploid. Hence, this life cycle is called as a diplontic life cycle. Asexual reproduction is completely absent in Sargassum. These are the references that I have used, and this is the web link. Thank you, students.